a world where it is alright to kneel for your national anthem. Welcome to CCN GameCast. This is episode 8, and what a show we got for you today. Old news. So we like to break down the podcast with certain topics that we like to talk about. And first we usually start off with old news, talking about stuff we might have addressed last podcast. So, last podcast we started, we didn't start anything, we just kind of did a special thing for the podcast. And that was my top 5 favorite YouTubers. And we also did the power rankings. Top 5 favorite YouTubers. We went down a list explaining, kind of people that I watch on YouTube. Number 5 being Dank Ops. Number 4 being Slipgator. Number 3, Vintage Beef. Number 2, PewDiePie. And number 1, Neebs Gaming. So we talked about those and we explained why I watched them and, what kind of stuff did these guys do. And I actually was wrong on one, I believe, because I don't think Vintage Beef does ARC. He does the Conan Exiles. So I believe I might have said that he does ARC stuff, and I meant Conan Exiles. It just didn't come out right. We went through the top 5 of the YouTubers that I watch, and we also did our weekly power rankings. And that was pretty much all we talked about. So we got something kind of cool today, and you can probably tell by the title. We're going to go through my top 5 favorite TV shows. Now, to explain this a little bit before we get into our new news segment here, these are TV shows that I'm currently watching right now, putting them on my favorite list. So some, when they're currently on TV or something like that, maybe my favorite, more up towards the 1 slot when they were actually on. But this is just rating them by what I've watched right now. New news. Kneeling for the national anthem. So I started off the podcast a little different today than what I normally do. And I didn't want you guys to mistake. I don't think it's alright to kneel for your national anthem. I think that it is disrespecting your country by doing so. Now let me explain this, and I did a couple of videos on it over the past week, and let me explain this a little bit, because no matter who you talk to, if they're in support of this kneeling, they're not understanding what my beef is with it. So let me explain this here a little better. It is not the act that you're doing. It is not the kneeling during the anthem that actually makes me mad, believe it or not. And yes, I understand that this is a free country. You are able to do it anytime you want. And there's no argument there. It is your right to kneel during the anthem. However, I believe that it is disrespecting your country when you do it. Now, it's not the protest. I don't have anything against the protest. They could be out there protesting teddy bears and doing it, and it wouldn't matter to me. The idea behind it is the act of your protest, regardless on whether you think so or not, is showing disrespect for the country. That is my beef. Your protest, whether I support it or not, it's nothing in this conversation. It is literally not even a part of this conversation. I believe that the national anthem, our flag, our Pledge of Allegiance, all of these big things that represent our country, they represent hope. So when you kneel to represent black oppression, to represent all of these things, you are kneeling and disrespecting the very idea of hope of this country for what you're protesting. So it's the platform that you're protesting that is my problem, not the protest itself. It is very evident that in this country there is oppression to blacks. I believe that there is police brutality against blacks. However, what I do believe also is there's a lot of black-on-black violence as well. A lot of these gang territories, stuff like that. I don't believe that it's always going to be white on black, and I don't believe that's the case here. Now, without getting too in-depth to that, because I don't want to sound racist, because I'm not. My idea of it is no matter what your protest is, you shouldn't be disrespecting the country to do it. The country that represents hope for changes of those things that you want. I understand that. But when you kneel, you're spitting in the face of everybody that has protected these rights that you are using right now. It just doesn't make sense to me. You know, you're kneeling on the graves of those that have fought for you to be able to kneel during the national anthem. It like I said, it's nothing that you're not able to do, but it's kind of crappy to do it. So, I just wanted to explain that a little bit more. Now, that kind of segues over to another piece of new news that I wanted to talk to you guys about and get your opinion on it. Because I've still continued to do my Madden NFL franchise mode. I have a couple episodes done, ready to upload, including the long shot. So I'm wondering, because right now there's a big boycott going around of, burning your NFL stuff, really sending a message to the NFL. And I'm worried because I'm a football fan. I was posting franchise stuff before this even started. And I'm worried that, a sport that I love so much is going to die because they are trying to make this big political statement where it's not needed. I'm worried about that. I love football. And not everybody on my team, the New England Patriots, kneeled, but there was a majority of them that did. And I gotta tell you something here, because there was literally a dozen people kneeling before Trump said anything. Now, before you go making assumptions about Trump, does not matter what my opinion of him is, but when he made light of this whole kneeling thing, more people did it. So that makes me think that you're kneeling just to send Trump a message. And why disrespect your country just to prove a message to a guy that is not going to make a difference to him either? So getting back to what I was talking about, this boycotting of the NFL and stuff, I haven't declared that I'm going to boycott anything. I love football. I love watching football. I don't think there's a bunch of dummies out on the field. I think that they're very good athletes. However, I think by making this stand, they're going to shoot themselves in the foot. I haven't declared not watching it. Just when they kneeled on last Sunday's game, I couldn't watch it. I literally lost my appetite for football. I had to turn around and walk away. I got ready for work and I never turned on the game again. The only reason I know what happened is my wife told me, that they won. And it was actually a good game, which is even more sad. And, I think that the NFL picks and chooses when they want to be political or not. They wouldn't let these guys put stickers on their helmets. They wouldn't let them wear pink shoes to represent their mother that's got breast cancer during the whole season. However, they would let their players kneel when it represented their agenda. It just doesn't make sense to me. So my question is should I continue to do the Madden? Should I continue to play Madden? I'm here doing what you guys want to see. I believe that it is my gameplay, and even though some of the characters, some of the people that are kneeling are depicted in Madden, I believe that it's strictly me, and there won't be any kneeling on my game. If there is, then I won't upload it. If the NFL starts putting these kneeling things in the beginning of the Madden game, yeah, you can bet I'm not going to be playing it. But what is your opinion towards that? Should I continue playing it? Is it something you guys still want to see? I still enjoy playing it, and I still enjoy watching it. It's just, when they kneeled, it took my appetite of football away for that day. And it would be interesting to see what's going to happen this coming Sunday. I've heard reports of the Patriots that they will not be kneeling at the next game. Dallas Cowboys was another one. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see what they do. It doesn't take away the fact that they've already done it, though. And that's what I'm scared of. I can let it go. If these coaches and these owners start making a difference, I can let it go. However, there's not everybody that can. So, when you take a stand to support those that are disrespecting the country, you might figure out that you haven't taken the right stance, because you're going to lose a majority of your crowd. You just are. So the next topic that I wanted to talk about in this new news is I'm going to be going away for a couple of days to the Apple Fest in Connecticut. We have a couple of friends down there. We're going to be staying with them. My wife and I are going to be going down and just hanging out and getting away for a little bit for the weekend. And I'm looking forward to it. I got a bunch of videos made up. They'll be uploaded before I go. So you guys will get them normally, pretty much. There's no Ark because I haven't had a chance to actually play Ark to get a good video. And yeah, so with this vacation and everything, with this mini vacation, I haven't been able to upload any. So yeah, we're going to be going away, and I'm very excited for that. It's not very often that my wife and I get to go on like trips like this. It is like 5 hours away, as we're in Maine and we're going down to Connecticut. So yeah, it's not very often her and I get to go away and do something together, so I'm really looking forward to that. And the next topic in this new news, before we get on to our big topic of the day, my 5 favorite TV shows, is the excitement for the release of WWE 2K18. And I wanted to talk about this a little bit because there's been a lot of footage released. There's been a lot of screenshots, lots of different things here and there, and there's a bunch of big YouTubers that are going to get a bunch of footage and capture it to show to us before it releases, and I am so excited to see some of that footage, and I'm so excited for the game. Like I said before, I am getting the Seen Enough edition, so we'll be unboxing that on the channel. I haven't done any of the big releasing stuff. I haven't put a lot of videos on my channel to represent the new game, just because I don't feel like I have to. There's so many people out there that do it. I'm not going to be another one of the 100 that already do it. When the game comes out, we'll definitely be doing a lot of videos unrelated to our universe mode, just to get some footage out there so you guys can see it. So yeah, I'm so excited. The normal release is October 17th, and I think I get it 4 days early, so I'm really looking forward to that. Alright, so we're on to the big topic of this video, and that is my top 5 favorite TV shows. Now let's just make sure that this is clear here. These are TV shows that I'm currently watching. Like, this is like videos that I pull up on Netflix before I go to bed or something and watch them, and also ones that have just hit TV again. So number 5, to start this one off, Hell on Wheels. So this one left TV, I believe, a year ago, 2 years ago maybe. It's a Western style AMC, so the same guys as The Walking Dead, same channel as The Walking Dead, kind of the same look as well. But I think that it's an awesome show. I think that the old Western feel I like anyway, so watching that show, I think it's kind of cool. So Hell on Wheels is number 5 on the list, and number 4 is Game of Thrones. Now, Game of Thrones would be at number 1, but the season just ended, so it's not currently something that I'm watching, but it's something I just finished up watching, pretty much. And the show is looking pretty cool. I don't want to say any spoilers because if somebody hasn't watched it yet, I don't want to ruin it for them. But I'm really, really looking forward to the new season coming. And yeah, it ended with a bang, I think. And I'm really looking forward to it. So it's one of my favorite TV shows. I'd say it's probably when it's currently on TV, I would put it at number 1 all the time. I love it. But, of course, I'm not currently watching it because they're all out of episodes to watch for me, so I put it at number 4. Number 3, a Netflix show. Started off on TV, moved to Netflix. Longmire. I love this show. I think the show is pretty entertaining. I go in and watch it from time to time. I got it on my Netflix feed, so I've been watching episodes here and there throughout the past week and finishing up what they have on there. And I don't think they're having any more. I think that's the latest that I heard, is that they're canceling it, which stinks. But I think it's got 5 seasons, and I'm on season 4 now. So good long solid run. Anyone that runs further than that, sometimes they're stretching for story. So I appreciate that. 5 seasons is a good, decent run, and I'm kind of excited to finish it up and see what the ending's like. So these last 2 on the countdown are kind of related. Number 2, Chicago PD. So it is Thursday the 28th. Last night was the season premiere of Chicago PD, and it was a good episode. I'm not going to say that it was, awesome. Like, it was, kind of mediocre in a way. But I really enjoyed the show anyway. My wife and I have kept up with it. We have disc copies of the season just because we love it so much. And she's actually a Chicago PD fan. I'm actually, what is our number one, a Chicago Fire fan. I like PD, but Chicago Fire is my absolute favorite out of the Chicago series. They have Chicago PD, they have Chicago Fire, they have Chicago Med, and Chicago Justice. We haven't kept up with the Med and Justice as much, but Chicago PD and Fire, we are right up to what's current on TV. And I am really excited for Chicago Fire to begin. Tonight, actually, is the season premiere. Although I probably won't be able to watch it until tomorrow. Because I'm not actually home. I work tonight, and I can watch it on Hulu tomorrow. So I'll be doing that probably. But it left us with a huge cliffhanger, and I'm really excited to see how this plays out. So those are my top 5 of my favorite TV shows that I'm watching right now. And I like doing these kind of things because it kind of connects with you guys a little bit. Maybe you guys share some of these TV shows that you watch. Maybe you guys also watch them is what I mean by that. And it kind of gives me a little bit of myself out there to you guys to see if we know, if we kind of relate to each other a little bit. So I enjoy this section of the podcast, and we'll try to think of, top 5s that we can do going forward. I know we're getting into game season now, so there's going to be a lot more stuff to talk about on the podcast anyway. But yeah, so that was my top 5 favorite TV shows, and now it's time to get to our weekly power rankings. All right, so our power rankings for the week. Last week we had a pretty good list here. We had 6 new ones that we had on the power rankings, and some of that carries over this week, and we're going to take an in-depth look at this, and I'll explain each one of my picks. They're usually controversial, but I think we got a pretty good list this week. So without further ado, let's get into the countdown. At number 10, I have Goldie, Dustin Rhodes, Goldust at number 10. So he had a big feud with Finn Balor on Monday Night Raw, where they actually bumped fist, thought they were all cool, and as soon as he bumped the fist, he clocks Finn Balor in the face, Goldust does anyway. And they get into a match later on in the night, and Finn Balor ends up picking up the win, but they're bringing light to Goldust, which I think is cool. I think it'd be awesome for Goldust to have a run here. He's probably winding down his career more. I think he's in, the best shape of his life for what I've seen of footage of him way, way back to footage now. I think he is built better, and I think it's cool that they're giving him a run right now. He's a cool, unorthodox character, which kind of adds to it. I don't think they're going to get him in a feud with Finn Balor because Balor's currently in a feud with Bray Wyatt, which is pretty cool. So, for that alone, that they're giving light to Goldust a little bit, I figured I'd put him at number 10 for the week. Number 9, AJ Styles. So, I said before that a countdown should always include AJ Styles in the top 5, as long as he was competing. However, this past week, he didn't compete, which isn't, his fault, really, but he was out of action. He was on the sidelines for Baron Corbin, Ty Dillinger. He did go hands-on a little bit, but had water thrown in his face, so I think it's justified to keep him on the countdown, just not in the top 5 this week. Number 8, Braun Strowman. So Braun Strowman, I don't think he was on the countdown at all last week, by what I have here. But this week, he laid waste to Kurt Hawkins. He laid waste to Enzo Amore on the Raw Fallout. After all, the cruiserweights got in a little piece of him too. I got to put Braun Strowman up there. Tough loss to Brock Lesnar. Dean Ambrose comes out to fight him, and of course, Braun Strowman picking up the win from that match. So I had to put him on the list. Number 8, Braun Strowman. Number 7, retaining his spot for the week, Jason Jordan. Number 7 last week, number 7 this week. I believe that Jason Jordan put on one hell of a match against The Miz at No Mercy. And Jason Jordan's still going strong with a victory with Matt Hardy on Raw. As we found out, Jeff Hardy will be going away for a while for surgery on a rotator cuff injury. So Jason Jordan, I'm not sure what they got lined up for him, but he's always done pretty good in that ring. So yeah, I got to put him at number 7, retaining his spot from last week. Number 6, moving up 2 slots this week, Rollins and Ambrose. So what a match they had at No Mercy. Cesaro getting his mouth busted open and still competing afterwards. He had quite a hit to his mouth there, knocking out teeth, busting open his lip a little bit. But yeah, Rollins and Ambrose with a victory at No Mercy. They actually went into singles action on Raw. Rollins taking on Sheamus in a victory. Cesaro ringside. And then Dean Ambrose answering the challenge of Braun Strowman. He lost, but he put up a fight. And I thought that was pretty cool. So I had to move Rollins and Ambrose up a couple of slots to number 6 from number 8 last week. Rollins and Ambrose keeping that number 6 spot. I expect them to move up maybe a little bit more before their decline, because that's inevitable. I don't think they'll hold on to the championships a long, long time. I wonder if there's going to be a hint towards the Shield and Roman Reigns because of their hint that they made with The Miz the other night. But yeah, so number 6, Rollins and Ambrose. Number 5, The Miz. So The Miz moves back 1 slot after a losing effort against Roman Reigns. The Miz Taraj. Although I couldn't drop him down too much because The Miz and The Miz Taraj kind of doing a Shield type thing. Skull-crushing finale onto the steel chair. So for that fact, I've only moved Miz down 1 spot after his loss there to Roman Reigns. But I think he still deserves a spot on the countdown. Number 4, moving up 1 from last week, Bayley the Hugger, picking up the victory in a tag team match with Sasha Banks against Nia Jax and Emma. Kind of a lackluster match, I would say. Not too exciting, but not too bad either. They had a pretty good, decent match. So number 4, I have put Bayley. Number 3, retaining his spot from last week, Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin had a match with Ty Dillinger. Even though he won by count out, he still won, splashing water in the face of AJ Styles, making a pretty good heel. So I believe at the next pay-per-view it will be Baron Corbin versus Styles for the United States Championship, but I'm not sure. They might throw a monkey wrench in there and somehow get Ty Dillinger into that match as well, which would be cool. Number 2, Shinsuke Nakamura. So Jinder Mahal the last couple of weeks have been coming out making fun of the faces of Shinsuke Nakamura, doing all kinds of things. And this week was kind of cool because he called him out for one of his faces, and it looked like a face that Shinsuke Nakamura had on the screen. And then he starts moving. And it was kind of cool because he says that he was there. He came out. He laid waste to the Bollywood boys and Jinder Mahal. And yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. So I had to put Shinsuke Nakamura for the first time on the countdown, at least for a couple of weeks. I'm not sure if we had him a few weeks ago or not. But yeah, Shinsuke Nakamura, number 2 on the power rankings for the week. Number 1, retaining his spot at the number 1 spot, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens had a match with Sami Zayn after a long war of words, and in their matchup later on in the night, Kevin Owens would powerbomb Sami Zayn onto the apron again, sending a message. I think that alone deserves the number 1 spot on our power rankings for the week for Kevin Owens. Well, that is it for the power rankings and for the podcast, the CCN GameCast podcast for the week. I did want to discuss the fact that our Ark Ragnarok server is now free to join on PS4, only on PS4 for right now. If you want to get on that server, go on to the PS4, go on to the unofficial PC sessions, type in CCN Gaming, and you guys can join and have fun on there. There's only 10 slots available at one time. However, I don't think we need any more than that right now. So if you got a PS4 and you'd like to join us on that server, you can go ahead and find that server and join and have some fun with us. I also wanted to mention my Twitter account. If you guys would like to keep up with all current events, breaking news, polls that I've been doing lately, then go to Twitter at CCN Gaming N Music. So that's CCN Gaming, the letter N Music. So thank you guys for watching here on the CCN GameCast podcast, and we will see you guys next time.